And when I'm out with people and I tell them, oh no, I don't drink, they get so uncomfortable, and then they feel the need to explain to me, well, I'm only going to have one drink, or I'm only going to do it, but it's been a long day.
So I haven't had a drink since 2004. Look at my dog's baby teeth, y'all. Hold on, I just got to show you what's happening right now. But what I've noticed, so I have several things I want to talk about here. One, like that's my buddy Jules. Go watch her video. It's linked in my caption. People are very uncomfortable with the fact that I don't drink. Not everybody, but it's usually people who have a problem with their own drinking. People who are not insecure about how much they drink don't have anything to say about me not drinking. But I get a lot of crap from certain people who are just like, what? Or like clearly uncomfortable. Now, I want to talk about this in terms of dating in a second. But what I will say is a lot of people can't believe that I haven't drank in like almost 20 years because I have so many crazy stories. And they also can't believe that I've made it out alive from these situations. Couch surfing all over South America for almost 8 months, like traveling alone, like forking a clown. Like I have so many crazy stories. If you've been following my page, you know this. All of those were sober. Every single story that I've told y'all was sober. Like, because unless I explicitly say I was drunk, assume I'm sober. And a lot of people can't believe that. I'm a curious person, I get myself in crazy situations. Maybe it's the inner journalist or the inner masochist, lots of things. But I think one of the reasons why I've had so many experiences with men, like one of the reasons why my Tinder hookups, when I was on my Tinder bender and hooked up with dozens and dozens and dozens of men, I don't even know how many, I don't even care. Very proud elder ho here. But one of the reasons why those situations, besides extreme vetting, like ruthless vetting on these dating apps, was that I wasn't drunk. I always was in touch with my intuition because I wasn't drunk. And if there's one thing that men have intuition, right? My husband is very in touch with his intuition. In fact, sometimes I wonder if he's more in touch with his than I am with mine. Because a lot of times like trauma responses or patriarchy or codependency or whatever will like gaslight my own intuition, which is always why I end up in a dangerous situation, is because that's what's happening. Because my intuition is never wrong. Never. The problem is my intuition whispers. And the trauma responses and all that other stuff yell through a bullhorn and have a Harvard Law degree, okay? Very convincing voices. So the reason why I say that is I don't think that it's not like women don't have more intuition than men. We just have to rely on it more than men to stay alive because of the threat of men, right? And when you drink, which men are always going to try to get you to do, you are cutting yourself off from your intuition. I do not have a problem with drinking. I have no issue with drinking. I live in France, for Christ's sakes. If I had an issue with drinking, this is not the place to be, because drinking here is so embedded in the culture, and it's not necessarily to get drunk. It's like literally how they eat food here, right? Like wine and food go hand in hand. I'm not like, there's definitely lots of drinking problems here. Absolutely. But when they drink, it's not always to get drunk. And it's not always to even get a buzz. It's literally just for food sometimes. And every single time that I have a lunch at my in-laws' place, my father-in-law will always put a wine glass there just in case. It's been years. And I'm not an alcoholic, y'all. It does run in my family, which is what scared me. And I have had other addictions, so I just don't mess with it because I don't like how I feel. I don't like feeling hungover. I also learned after a while, look at this, y'all, look at this. I also learned after a while that I'm actually way more fun when I'm sober. I don't need the social lubricant, right? And that took some practice. Took a lot of practice. But I realized that like people always think I'm drunk because I'm pretty crazy. Like this is me. This is me totally sober. If I'm sorry, I woke the baby. Like, if I drink, I'm narcoleptic. I'm not fun. I get sleepy. If I'm high, I'm not fun because I'm in my head. So I'm not like talking as much because I'm like, oh my God, what do they think? So I am a much more fun person, totally sober. But a lot of that came with practice and just forcing myself to be social. I started this in college, right? Like I drank a little bit after college, but I really kind of started this my junior year of college. And I just let people think I was drunk. I always had a drink in my hand. They didn't know it was an alcoholic. And that served me for two reasons. One, it got the people who do have an issue with alcohol and their own insecurities around alcohol off my back. More importantly, It kept men from trying to buy me a drink because I already had a drink, right? And this is what, Sober Side talks about this a lot. One of my other mutuals, I'm going to tag her. She's talked about this a lot. Y'all, don't let men be buying you drinks. Do not let these men buy you drinks. This is one of the ways that they are trying to cut you off from your intuition. They're trying to cut you off from good judgment. They want you to make terrible decisions based on being drunk. They also will put stuff in your drink. That's literally how Danny, what's his butt, right? Like he was like drugging women by spiking their drinks. So y'all, you really need to assume that all men are preying on you, that they're buying you a drink, not to be nice, because some men are just like, they're just doing it because that's what they think they should do. But a lot of them are doing this literally to take advantage of you and prey on you, prey on your bad judgment, prey on you being cut off from your intuition, which is going to go, this guy seems dangerous. You can't hear that voice when you're wasted or even slightly buzzed. So if you're struggling in your dating life, take a break. Get to know yourself, date yourself, and find the love and connection you need in community and in friendships. And also, stop letting these men get you drunk, because that's how you end up sleeping with them when you really don't want to. And then that's how they get you clipmatized, which usually it's not even that, honestly. I used to say clipmatized, but it's not that. It's definitely not their D making me, And sometimes it's, clipmatized. But a lot of times it's literally you sleep with them because they have messed with your intuition and your judgment. And then because you've slept with them, all the patriarchal conditioning of, I must like him. And then all the trauma responses kick in. And any unresolved childhood trauma, especially around dad or abandonment, we're like, I guess you will convince yourself you like the biggest douche just because you slept with them. But you slept with him because you were drunk. So I don't usually care about like drinking and all that stuff. Y'all, I really have no judgment around it whatsoever. Every time I go out, everyone's drinking. I'm like one of the only ones who's not drinking. But I don't hang out with people who are like drinking to get wasted. I hang out with people who are just having a couple glasses of wine just cuz. I mean, every once in a while I'll go to like a big throw out party and that's always fun. So and my husband drinks, like all my friends drink, but they don't get wasted because I'm 45. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to be like, bleh. I don't want to hang out with people who don't remember the conversations that we've had, because for me to go out and talk and have long conversations, that's a lot of energy for me. And I might as well just talk to a wall or talk to him, right? Talking to a drunk person is a waste of energy and time because you're not connecting with them. You're literally just passing time talking to somebody who isn't going to remember anything. If they do, they're like, oh yeah, I remember talking to that cool girl. So if you are struggling in your friendships, but especially in your dating life, you want to have more authentic ones, try doing it sober. Because it's not just, romantic partnerships. Even in friendships, you're going to make better decisions around who is good for you when you're not cut off from your intuition. And again, as a woman, you being connected to your intuition is life or death. Every time I have come close to death, which has been multiple times, it's either been because of a man putting me in harm's way and me ignoring my intuition around trusting that forker, or it's been me just straight up gaslighting myself about any situation regarding a man or not. And if I do that already when I'm sober, if I already have a hard time trusting myself, listening to my intuition when I'm sober, why would I drink? Why would I do the one thing that's going to make me make terrible decisions that could literally change the trajectory of my life especially when it involves men? Look, again, I'm not saying don't drink, don't have fun. I'm saying if you are dealing with men, please don't get drunk with them. And if you really want to see a man's motives and he offers to buy you a drink and you say no, or you say, okay, I'll have a soda water or a Coke. If he's not okay with that, either A, he has a drinking problem, or B, he's only buying you a drink to take advantage of you, and you've just ruined his game plan. Be very careful with alcohol, y'all. I know it's normalized, but you wouldn't believe how less you gaslight yourself when you're totally sober. And men know that. They ain't dumb, y'all. They know exactly what they're doing. Assume the worst in them until they prove otherwise. Your life depends on it.